seen, as you mentioned, is there are a lot of like, there's the admin keys, which Chris was very good and vehement about putting out, and I really admired him for that. Like, and I've watched some of Chris's content as I was going through the DeFi space myself. But yeah, the problem is like, man, I've gotten like the biggest criticism I got, Richard, from a lot of people is like that people were like, oh, you know, for example, like some people were really cautious about, Nick, you know, you plug into Celsius, you plug into some of these like centralized providers in this case.
Well, there's risk. You're basically just slave to the counterparty risk. Like they can exit, and look, they could be the most honest people in the world, but BitGo is based in the United States. And if you're based in the United States, you aren't in the right country for crypto. You're not. CZ will never enter the United States territory. Ever. I'm willing to bet you Arthur is not in a rush to go get into police custody in the United States. I'm willing to bet you, right? Yeah. So like people forget why crypto exists. It is an adversarial relationship with people that don't want you to have your freedom. There are people that do not want you to have your freedom. They want you to beg them to transact. You want to buy food? Use a card and we can say no. You want to pay your rent? Use a card and we can say no. You want to get a taxi? Use a card and we can say no. And you're at our behest. If we want you to be able to transact, we'll leave your card on. But if we don't like you one day, we deactivate you. And then you're what do you do to eat? Right? What do you do in a cashless society to eat if your card's turned off? You starve is what you do, or beg. So people didn't have to lose money in Cryptopia. They didn't have to lose money in Quadriga CX. They didn't have to lose money on OKX. They didn't have to lose money in these exit scams, rug pulls, hacks. There is a better way. If you use truly audited, secure software like holding their coins yourself, then there's no counterparty risk for you. There's no counterparty risk for you. So
absolutely,
it's like you have smart contract risk in DeFi. Fine. You have inflation bug and node risk in normal coins like Bitcoin native or ETH native. And then that risk, you have an extra layer of the custodians. So your blockchain could fuck you, or your smart contract could fuck you, or the people holding the private keys could fuck you, or the government could fuck them and make them fuck you. And then you have to decide how many layers of fucking do you want to engage with, like a stable coin. You're like, fiat sucks. So, you know, fiat sucks, and you can only put 100 grand in the bank to get deposit insurance. Maybe it's like 300 now. And then it's always going down in value. So how can we make that suck worse? Let's have a stable coin where you don't even have the money in your account. Somebody else has it in their account. And then you've got blockchain risk, counterparty risk, no FDIC insurance, and no yield. You don't make any money in the coin. It's just like, but the funny thing is, as shitty as all that is, it's still worth it to most people for the regulatory arbitrage to use it still. So like stable coins have the most volume of anything in crypto, even though you would never think like, wow, what a dumb invention. And then they've proven to be fractional reserve. Like the NYC Attorney General to Tether was like, hey, yeah, you just had like $750 million seized in Poland. So yeah, you're running a fractional reserve. And they're like, yeah, but we launched a token, so it's okay. and it has been okay so far, you know, like, so my point is, I want to get back to the Chris Black, the risk thing. There's a token that people are farming right now. I won't tell you what it's called, but there's $1 billion of funds in it that one guy can take whenever he wants. He can literally just take all the money. There's a 12-hour time lock, and he's already done things that have taken 13 hours to fix bugs before. So he could just have a bug, say, okay, I'm working on it, replace it with something else that has a backdoor in it, and then empty out all the funds. So RenVM could run with all the money, BitGo could run with all the money, and they're in charge of all wrap BTC. And who's trying to buy them? PayPal. And now who would be in charge of the wrap BTC? PayPal. Is that good for crypto? PayPal sucks. So it's just hilarious that we were supposed to replace banks, and people are like, oh God, the banks are coming, thank God. And we were supposed to replace PayPal, and people are like, oh yes, PayPal's buying more banks. Oh my God, it's so amazing. And there's like no worse company in the world than Facebook. And they're like, yes, we're going to get the Facebook coin. Or how about this one? Unicoin, or Uniswap is better than Bancor because they did more volume and better software and didn't have $100 million ICO and didn't have a stupid duct taped on token. And everyone loved it. And they're like, yes, real, no bullshit duct taped on token, right? Public good. No one's getting rich. But then what happened? Got to duct tape a token onto that shit. They duct tape a token onto it, and everyone loves it even fucking more. And hexagons love it the most because hexagons got 5% of all those fucking coins, and it's a $1 billion project. So hexagons got $5+ million free money off of those airdrops. So thank you for the free money. That's amazing. And they have the funniest price chart. First 2 days, solid green lines up. Only doom ever since. It's literally a Nike symbol pointing up. It just goes like this. It's like hilarious. And there's never, oh dude, crypto is so funny. The hypocrisy. It was amazing because there's no token. And now it's more amazing because there's a token. What? And it was fully functional without the token. Okay, so what does the token do now? And the token's a security as well. So what is a security? You give money to a common pool with the expectation of profit solely from the work of others. Okay, so they say things like, hey, this token, it's going to allow you to change the default search list, to put tokens in the default search list. Okay, well, I know that a human being has to edit that. That's not on chain. That's a front end that someone runs on a server. So a human being is going to edit something to benefit the holders of this token. That's a security. Someone is doing work to pump someone else's bags, and then everyone lists it instantly. Everyone lists an obvious security that has voting and like, I'm like, what? Or like CZ. CZ's like, yo, we don't list anything unless we know the founders. Okay, list sushi swap within hours, and then exit scams. You're like, what happened, dude? What? Huh? Like, you have enough money. Like, you don't have to scam. You have enough money. You already have successful business. Your market cap's already billions. Like, you don't need to do extra risky, stupid scam shit if you're already like the leader of the fucking volume. Like, they have real volume. It just blows my mind, dude. So in summary, don't put your fucking money in things where you're going to get exit scammed that have oracles or admin keys, because you will lose it all. So that guy that has $1 billion, if he decides to exit scam, why the fuck wouldn't he exit scam for the $1 billion? I think he's anonymous as well. I don't even think he has an identity. Why wouldn't someone who's anonymous exit scam for $1 billion? $1 billion. Obviously they would.
Yeah, I don't know about the project, Richard. I mean, I've seen some of the.
It's called Farm. I think the token's called Farm.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, honestly, man, it's like, yeah, above all, this is the point I was getting to earlier, is like, I do understand, for example, as with anything, and that's why we offered Compound within the Digifox wallet in that case. And we hope to offer more different types of offers in that case that are more decentralized.
Well, Compound has audits, thank God.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Compound is, but to be fair, as Chris Black points out and stuff, again, all DeFi is it's kind of a spectrum. It's subjective. There are admin keys, and what's nice
still
is
has oracles.
Yes, exactly. An oracle. Yeah. So
people don't know what an oracle is. An oracle is two guys running a server that then controls everything. And if they change the price on that server, it ruins everyone's projects, all of it. And that's it. So when your blockchain thing says, okay, what's the price of a Bitcoin? Something has to tell it what the price of a Bitcoin is, because it doesn't know. And whoever runs that server can ruin everything.
To clarify, in that case, Richard, like that's if you could have an oracle that only has like 2 inputs, but most of them in that case, usually if you're using something like, if you're using Chainlink or if you're using other solutions, that case you're getting more inputs, correct?
Yeah, and then you get more people to collude to get their $1 billion payout. So basically, the oracle attack is, hey, you and me and some other guy are gonna agree to lie about the price to make money on our short or money on our long. So we're gonna, and then with flash loans, you could go get a fucking giant loan for free, go win your short or long. Yeah, I'm not
a big fan of flash loans, yeah.
I mean, the solution of flash loans is time-weighted average price, and then you have to manipulate it for longer, and flash loans are only good for 10 seconds. So, there is a solution to them, but, like, there's shit software companies like BZX that's been hacked 3 or 4 times that didn't even bother to use time-weighted average price, so they just got hacked, like, all the time, and they've been hacked for other reasons as well. So, if you use oracles, you're not getting censorship resistance of a blockchain. If you use admin keys, you're not getting censorship resistance of a blockchain. Uniswap does not use oracles. It is an oracle. It doesn't reference anything outside itself, and it doesn't have admin keys in the sense that they could change the game. So the game is what the game is. They do have a switch they could flip to turn on a 15% tax for new liquidity. It doesn't affect old liquidity. It doesn't affect traders. It only affects new liquidity providers. And if they flip that switch, I think everyone just goes to a different fork anyway. So they're not going to flip the switch. So don't use shit that has oracles if you don't have to. Don't use shit that has admin keys if you don't have to. And Uniswap, Hex, and not that many other projects I know of are free of those two things.